week, we take the wrong candle out of the drawer during a power outage, and we use our George Forman grills to burn down our city after we discover that there's bugs everywhere! What was that itch? So it's time to drop any hard consonants just in time for an episode of... Robot Lady! Oh God, Robot Lady!
We need you to sound the alarm!
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
Oh, thank God she was still here. I was so afraid that maybe she had evacuated. We have a hurricane coming. Everybody is very scared. Robot Lady might have gone into Ohio or something. I had no idea, but she's still here. She sounded the alarm. That means the show is on its way. Ladies and gentlemen, the next hour of your life is going to be replaced with two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture, and hurricanes. As impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, straight from the Mile High Club, we have Nick from Smoking on Planes.
Woo! Hey guys.
Woo! Welcome to the show, Nick.
It's wonderful to be with you tonight. Thanks for having me.
They don't let you smoke on planes anymore.
They don't let you do that.
They're
not
very
with that attitude.
Yeah, they're very particular about it. It used to be like a thing.
Totally.
You just smoked. It was just weird because you're like in a little like metal box for 4 hours with other people. It just had to have turned into just a cloud of smoke. But everyone was like, it's fine. That's cool.
I mean, but like, fuck it. I think they should bring it back.
Yeah? You think so? I think we just put little like cones of silence over the smoking people and then they just live in their own smoke. But it gives them privacy because they can make it thick and nobody can see them.
Yeah. And I'm joking. I hate cigarette smoke. So it's kind of ironic that we called the band that.
You're just like, oh, this is terrible. Open a window. Someone open we're on a plane. That's not a good idea.
Let's start a band.
I was legitimately nervous that there was going to come a day where they allowed vaping on planes. So far, that hasn't come to pass.
Not yet.
Yeah, that's vaping anywhere. Vaping is this weird lie, right? Where it's like, I'm not smoking. It's fine. I'm good. I'm good. This is way better for you. And it's like, I mean, you're still kind of doing it.
It's healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy smoking. And so, yeah, I don't know. Although I have been curious with the vaping because they've got vapes that are different flavors, right? They're cherry vape oil.
It's for the kids.
I don't know what it's, yeah. But they also have ones that don't have nicotine. And I thought, well, that seems right up my alley. Like, I don't want any nicotine, and I want just smoke that tastes like cherries. Yeah. Like, that sounds awesome.
Now, when it first came out on the scene, my buddy Biggs and I were talking about, this might actually be kind of cool because we're fat kids. We like to taste things.
Yeah.
But then the kind of people who vape now started showing up, and we're like, no, we don't want to be associated with them.
We
Never
don't
mind.
like you.
But you know what that reminds me?
I'll just keep cooking.
That reminds me, though, like the nicotine-less vapes. It's kind of like when we were kids and we had the candy cigarettes.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
Kind of like blew out sugar or whatever.
Yeah, but it made a much smaller cloud.
Right.
Now they've got people that they call them, I think, cloud chasers. It's people who try to make the biggest vape cloud.
Right.
And so far, the winner is Hurricane Francis. Right? Is that or Teresa? Is it Teresa? Is that the one? What's the one coming right now?
It's Florence.
Florence. That's what I was thinking of. Hurricane Florence is the winner of the biggest vape cloud, and it was going to murder people. Let's hope not. Let's hope everybody who's listening, if you're near the ocean, don't be near the ocean.
Well, by the time this comes out, you've either already made that choice, or we'll see you some other time on the other side of those pearly gates.
Right, that's true. Because we're behind. We're not a live podcast, so to all of those people who are listening, we told you.
Congratulations.
So.
Hope you're with us next week.
You're welcome. Yeah, so that's crazy. Have you ever been in a hurricane?
I have. I mean, I'm from, well, how do I phrase it? Because we're all sort of like from this part of the country. So,
sure.
So sometimes we get that full brunt, hurricane experience where you got to batter up the hatches and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Or it's like a wimpy rainstorm. So I feel, and I'm from Delaware, like near the beach. So,
so you might have actually gotten the brunt. Like here in Northern Virginia, I don't think we've ever really gotten the brunt of one. Like we've had some that were like worse than others. I remember like, I think Isabel came through here and like knocked out power for a couple days or something, but it wasn't, to me, it wasn't like we got hit by like just a full on hurricane. Cause I grew up in Hawaii, right? In Hawaii, a hurricane is like 100 times the size of your island.
Right.
And it just comes through and it's like, sorry, island. And I remember just gazebos being picked up and thrown like 3 blocks and like just horrible things. Just whole houses are gone and things like that. And so when you think, when you see like a category 4 hurricane hit like the coast, you go, yeah, that was really rough.
Yeah.
When you hear like, a category 2 hitting Reston, it's like, I mean, the trees blocked a lot of it. So
yeah, in Delaware, so you had a good hurricane when you go down to the beach the next day and the boardwalk's gone.
The boardwalk is gone?
Yeah, it's just gone, It's floated back out to sea.
It's now a pier. It disappeared.
I hate you.
Gotcha. All right, so you're in a band called Smoking on Planes, despite the legality of that. You guys you're here because you've got a big show coming up on Saturday, September 22nd at the Velvet Lounge in Washington, D.C. And you've also got some music coming out. We have a track called Parallel Lives. If you're super interested in it right now, fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show and you can listen to it in its entirety. If not, we'll play a little sample of it a little later, but that's going to be coming out on Friday, September 14th. We'll be doing the first time it's ever played on a podcast here, but then it'll be released before this gets released. So we're in a weird in between. Is it the world premiere? I think I'm going to take it.
Whatever. It's pretty cool. So I'm really pumped that you guys are going to play it. So.
No, absolutely. And so, yeah. So then I assume you'll be doing that song on Saturday, September 22nd.
Yep. Yes,
right?
I will. Yes.
And if people want to connect with you, they can go up to Instagram, check out Smoking on Planes DC. That's Smoking on Planes without the G.
Correct.
So just so you know, you have to be like real hip and take the G off.
Exactly.
Smoking on Planes.
They had to drop the hard G at the end to make it less offensive.
Right. Vaping on planes. All right. So that's kind of the rundown of why you're here and stuff. Are you playing with anyone else on the 22nd? Do you know?
Yeah. So we are supporting a Jersey punk band called Aspiga, who are on tour right now. They have a new record that came out, and who else is on that bill? A band called God Damn It, I think is their name. They've been playing.
There's no way that wasn't taken.
Right.
There's a band out there called God Damn It, right?
And then there's another some local guys called Curse Words. So
these are all bands that are gonna have to change their name eventually. I'm just gonna have to let them know that ahead of time. I believe maybe they could look at the different hurricane names and pick some of those.
It's not bad.
That might be.
Here comes Florence.
Yeah, Florence might be available. Like, what if it was like that in a machine, right? Like, there's no way that's taken.
Wide open, guys.
Florence and the Hurricane. So you're from Delaware, but you've been here for a while in this area?
I'm from Delaware. I've been in the area since 2012. So like pretty much most everyone else in DC, I came here for work. For the professional grind. So
but you, unlike a lot of musicians, you have a PhD, you were saying.
I
right?
do.
What is it in music?
I wish.
It's in adulting.
Yeah, it's in adulting. It should be in adulting. I'm a political scientist during the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
really?
I do human rights work.
That's good.
I work for an international development organization. So I work on issues of poverty and economic inequality and human rights.
When you said music-wise, you actually got your start doing kind of like punk music, which is really kind of, that's one of the like cornerstones of punk music, is being kind of usually very like socially like aggressive, let's say, right? Like there are problems, we want to solve them, and we're going to play music to do that, right? And so it makes sense that you then went into a career of being able to kind of try and solve those problems in a political science way as well.
It's all kismet, man, because I grew up in the 80s and I was in Delaware riding skateboards and playing punk rock and influenced by Fugazi and Discord and kind of the
that's
Bad
us.
Brains and stuff that was happening down here in
our area.
DC. I did that stuff. I played drums in high school and through college. And then, as I was saying earlier, I kind of got out of it a bit, but now I'm back in and it feels good to be home.
Well, it was great. Last episode, we actually talked to a guy named Andy, who's doing another podcast called Jams for Man, which is all about that scene, about DC hardcore and music from the Northern Virginia area in like the late 80s, early 90s. And so, you'll have to check that out. Jams for Man.
Awesome.
And that was a lot of fun. He came on from Skype from LA. He's all the way over in LA. But he went to high school here, and so it was really formative for him musically.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. I don't think DC gets a lot of credit for being a hub for music and culture, but there are moments in time where it was incredibly influential with either go-go or hardcore, DC hardcore.
You have to peel the onion, man. You come here and it's like, oh, it's just, boring office workers and government. But then you peel the onion, and I think part of what you're trying to do here, right? There's a lot of music and art and cool culture.
I hope.
Just got to look for it.
Yeah. Well, and one of those cool things, Smoking on Planes, that's your band. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. You guys, again, are going to be up at Velvet Lounge in Washington, D.C. on Saturday, September 22nd. Go check them out there. We'll be playing the track Parallel Lives a little later on the show, or fast forward to the 1 hour mark to hear the entire track. That's being released on Friday, September 14th. Don't forget that you can connect up with Smoking on Planes on Instagram /smokin on Planes DC. So no G, just Smoking on Planes DC.
We don't want to offend anybody here.
Right. All right. So with that said, we are now going to take you into a new realm. You've done political science. You've done music. You've skateboarded. You once lost a boardwalk. But now we are going to make you the editor-in-chief of your own brand new publication.
Let's do it.
And us, as your loyal reporters, we're going to pitch you stories that we carefully found on the internet randomly with a few minutes to spare. We're going to pitch these to you and see if we can get them published in your publication.
Okay.
Your job is to figure out whether or not they are news. And don't forget, at the end, we will need a name for your publication. So think about that as well. All right, so let's get Adam to start off. What do you have, Adam?
Oh, I get to start this week.
Yeah.
This is new and exciting.
You do it from time to time.
Well, if you're listening to our show from Philadelphia, I've got some bad news for you.
You're in Philadelphia.
About to say, besides the part where you live in Philadelphia. That's because of this article, a bugs heist. Thousands of insects and spiders stolen from Philadelphia Museum.
What?
Yes, 7,000 creatures, including a highly venomous spider, were stolen from the city's insectarium and butterfly pavilion last month. Or about 90% of their collection, including the aforementioned six-eyed sand spider whose bite, quote, could rot 25% of the victim's body.
Gee, all right, quick show of hands. Who here is in favor now of burning down Philadelphia?
We'll just have to nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
I'm just saying, we don't want to be, we can't be too cautious.
Though.
Right?
Now, there is some good news. Thankfully, authorities do have a lead on who's to blame, and they might have a lead on where the insects are right now.
It's Spider-Man.
In a totally unrelated note, don't worry about that itch you just got on the back of your leg.
Oh, I can feel it. Why did you do that?
No, Keith, don't scratch it.
No,
don't worry about it. No, it's totally fine.
It's totally
me. Fine.
I can feel it. It's on the back of my neck. Oh, God. Keith, Jesus. Oh,
it's all good.
They're all in my
It was
clothes.
nothing. It was totally nothing,
Adam.
Keith.
Why did you do this to me? I can feel them eating my flesh.
Keith, I could see on the webcam, it was totally fine. You're safe.
Oh, okay, good.
Just out of curiosity, does your insurance cover anti-venom?
I don't know.
You might
want to
check. You don't need to worry, but you might want to check.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a warning. That doesn't make me comfortable. That's disturbing. That I guess they had to have known who it was, right? Because there's only so many people that have both the access and the motive to steal thousands of bugs.
Well, it's actually funny you say that because the guy who runs the place is talking about how they know who these guys are because they have them on security camera, like going through and taking all the crates out, and then they left their uniforms. If I remember correctly in the article, they left their uniforms stuck to the walls with knives, which I don't know if it was a threat or a warning, or if they were all just high and that was the best way they could find to like hang up their stuff.
Steve, did you bring the clothes hangers? No? Shit! I got knives.
Why do you have knives?
Spiders? There's spiders here.
I mean, valid.
Yes.
Everyone knows you always bring a knife to a spider fight.
Yes. I'm surprised they weren't wearing Eagles jerseys.
Oh, he's lobbing grenades. Oh my goodness.
I thought the TSA took those a couple weeks back.
Right. That's a good point.
I saw that.
So the question is it news?
So I think that story is more of a news story than the hurricane.
What if the bugs end up in the hurricane? They'll end up everywhere. Oh, God. Oh, I can feel them again. Adam. Oh, God, they're everywhere.
I actually am kind of hoping that little segment did not cause someone to like swerve off the road just then.
Right? They're like, ow, ow. Oh, God. Oh, I can feel
If you are such a listener who's swerved off the road, it's not my fault.
Right. Hopefully you're going away from the hurricane.
It's so funny to me, like how some people are so skeeved by bugs and especially spiders, and how others just whatever, who cares?
Right, now I'm hungry. All right, so does it make it in the publication?
Absolutely.
All right, okay, good.
Woohoo!
So you got one in already. This is good. This is going to be a thick publication.
Totally.
If this continues. Headline: A naked man starts house fire while baking cookies on George Forman grill.
Definitely not news. That happens like every week in my neighborhood. So
does it? Oh, okay. I need to move to your neighborhood. Now that we have a clear vision of what my retirement's going to look like, let me assure you this gets better. You see, when firemen arrived, the naked man answered the door and said, I quote, "I'm sorry," then closed the door again, leaving the firemen outside of the apartment, which had fire in it. They called.
So he
the
was
police.
on some really good drugs.
Yeah. So the police helped open the door and get in there. Apparently, when his unattended George Forman grill bake-off caught fire, the man put dry towels on it, I assume to hide the fire, which lit the towels on fire and caused the fire to spread.
Well, if it was a grease fire, that's actually the smart thing to do. So
not dry ones. That's not how you do that.
I thought, isn't he supposed to take like a dish towel off the rack and like smother the flames if it's a grease fire? Am I making that up?
I think you're supposed to dampen it first.
I think you should get out of the house.
Well, no, because water and grease fire, because water with the grease would make it explode.
Maybe.
Did you guys ever have a George Forman
You're
grill?
not supposed to put water in it, but I think you're supposed to use a damp towel. You should probably not use this show as guidance on how to put a fire out. I just want to put that out there. If you're listening intently and taking notes, stop taking notes.
You should take my advice on anything, even if it's outside this show.
Right. Even if it's how to make a podcast sound good, it's probably iffy. It's But yeah, so this might not be a surprise to you guys, but the man did admit to smoking pot and drinking 2 liters of vodka prior to the incident. So
2 liters of vodka?
Yeah.
Jesus.
All day. And I
kind
assume
of think the weed had nothing to do with it, but
well, I think that's what made the cookies try to happen. Right? So he was like, I'm fucking drunk and cookies? I can make cookies? What do I have here? Well, let's see. I don't have any clothes hangers, and I'm out of knives. But I got this.
Calm down, Hannah Hart.
I've got this George Forman grill. That'll do. That's hot. So yes, is it news?
it's not news.
No.
It's not news. It's too commonplace to me.
It is.
It seems like I feel like you could open up any paper across the country and be like, there'd be one story that's sort of similar. And those George Forman girls, I had one in college, man.
Yeah.
They definitely create a lot of grease. So
That is true.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not supposed to make cookies on them. I'm just stating that in case you were like thinking that it was his like technique. That wasn't the problem. It's that you bake them. All right,
It's
that's
amazing
fun.
how much grease those things get out of cookies, too.
Right. Well, they're beef cookies. All right, Adam. See if you can take the lead by 2 now.
Alrighty. Novelist who wrote about, quote, how to murder your husband, charged with murdering her husband. Yes,
so don't use that book.
Pretty much. A Portland, Oregon-based romance novelist who wrote books about relationships that were, quote, wrong, but never felt so right, also wrote an essay entitled How to Murder Your Husband. The essay included, quote, how to get away with it.
Yeah.
So while I thought it was pretty obvious that someone who writes Harlequin-esque romance novels for a living might be as qualified to get away with murder as a CSI Miami fan,
yeah,
it is nice to feel a little vindicated.
I like that this is now a trend because about, about 2 months ago, we had a Japanese author who
Chinese,
wrote
you
about...
racist.
What's that?
Chinese, you racist.
Was it Chinese? I can't remember. I thought it was Japanese.
Almost certain it was Chinese.
Yeah, it's probably Chinese.
Let's just agree to disagree and say he was like Korean or something.
Yeah, there it is. There's some race that I should have been better about noticing and didn't. So let's say he's Chinese. He is Chinese. He apparently was a well-known author. Like he was an award-winning author for murder mysteries. And then he just went to court because he had murdered people. And that's how he wrote stories, because he remembered doing it. And so like
it seems nowadays that, you know, if you have an unsolved crime, look for someone who wrote a book that is basically titled, I didn't do it, but if I did do it, here's how I would do it.
Looking at you, OJ. So, yeah, his next novel was going to be like the writer who got away with murder, was the name of and I was like, you just wanted to be caught, didn't you? And so now we're into this. This is somebody who was like, this is how I would do it, and then went and did it. Yeah. So is it news?
Well, I hate to put Adam on the board twice, but I do think that that's news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. All right, a commanding lead by Adam. Not any different than any other week.
Which I'll especially gloat about because your Chinese author one wasn't news that episode.
Right. Irony. You're just good at pitching stories.
It's my charming face.
All right. Headline. Taco Bell voted best Mexican restaurant in the country. Yeah. We've done it, people.
Can you unpack that a little bit?
Yeah. No, we've arrived. Everyone, we're here. Why are we evacuating
who's your sample size?
Yeah, why are we evacuating the Carolina coast? It doesn't matter because the apocalypse is nigh, right? Right? We let it happen on our watch, people, and there's nothing we can do about it now. You just have to accept the fact that the poll surveyed more than 77,000 customers in the United States on more than 3,000 brands to find which companies are the favorite among those customers. And Taco Bell was voted best Mexican restaurant over well-known contenders like Rio Grande, Chevy's, and Hillary Clinton. Okay, wait. I'm sorry, there's a typo here. I think that was a different voting thing. Now that I'm looking back, that was wrong. So yeah, that's if you
quiero.
Yeah, if you want Mexican food, authentic Mexican food. Two things you need to know. First, it's a fourth meal.
Yeah.
And second, it is some combination of 8 ingredients just wrapped around each other. Because that's all that they do.
Well, in the survey's defense, how many nationwide brands of Mexican food are there?
How many?
Yeah, because Taco Bell, obviously.
I've never heard the other ones. I've never heard of Rio Grande.
No?
Yeah, I've never heard of Rio Grande. Chevy's, I know, is around the East Coast. I don't know how far west that goes.
Then that's fine. You know what? Next item up for bid, taco truck.
Is that a chain, though?
I mean, it might be on a chain.
Valid.
Yeah.
If they didn't pay a parking fine, they're now chained up onto the bed of the tow truck. I get where you're going.
Yeah. I would have just put taco truck. Right? And they'd be like, that's not a brand. It's kind of. You just go to the taco truck.
No, because there isn't really much good Mexican chains. Everyone knows that the best Mexican food comes from your kitchen late at night when you've smoked pot and drunk 2 liters of vodka.
And kidnapped 3 Mexicans and make them cook.
Wait, what about Chi-Chi's? Isn't that a Mexican?
Oh, God. I think you just went worse. I think there's literally
the CC's of Mexican food.
Yeah. There are people right now that just turned off the podcast because of you. And we want them back, baby back.
And the remaining listeners just left after that.
Yes. I would think that's Southwestern. I think that's what I would call that, a Southwestern restaurant.
Fair enough.
If I had to. Or just a marketing pitch.
Yeah.
Like that might also be what I'd call it. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Like what is the, Tippy Taco is probably not really well known throughout the United States of America. What else? What is a national Mexican food chain?
Can this be my quiz topic for the next person?
Sure. Yeah, you can pick it.
And to all the people screaming at us over the podcast, Chipotle is not Mexican.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I don't know if that would count either. I have no idea. What would you call Chipotle?
Americanized take on Tex-Mex.
Wait, how would that be different than Taco Bell?
Yeah,
How's
true.
Taco Bell more authentic?
Yeah.
If Chipotle got a gordito or something, I think then, there wouldn't be a question here.
Yeah. The only thing authentic about like Taco Bell is that it's priced reasonably. Like that's the only thing.
I'm not saying Taco Bell's better than Chipotle, but
right. Yeah, I don't know. This is a question. So if I'm
actually curious about what the other options were. Like I'm legitimately curious what his contenders were.
There have to be one. I'm just not thinking of them.
Well, you're going to pitch this to your next guest, so.
Yeah. Well, and if you're listening to the podcast and you know national Mexican chains that obviously are better than Taco Bell. That's a low bar. It just has to be basically Mexican and a chain and have food. And so
nationwide.
Yeah. Then email us at contact@anotherwastedhour.com or hit us up on Facebook at Another Wasted Hour and let us know, because that's a really good point. Maybe just people don't know because we're having a hard time. I mean, I picked two, but
no, because there's dead honestly, like the best Mexican places are like the little hole in the wall places. So
yeah, all right, fair enough. Hole in the wall places, you get it? Because there's going to be a wall now,
Ba-boom,
and they're
ba-boom,
coming through the
ba-boom.
hole. He's such a racist.
Thanks for explaining that to me.
Yeah.
You should have just let that one go, Keith. Come on. I'm so disappointed in myself right now.
Because you didn't think of that.
No, I did. I'm just disappointed in myself for making that joke.
All right. So, is it news?
So I'm going to tie this back to music. When I was a teenager and we were playing punk rock and all that stuff, when we got done practice, my band and I would drive to Taco Bell.
Yep.
And we'd drive to the drive-thru.
Sure.
And we'd be in line and we'd sneak out of our car with stickers of our band and we'd put them on the car in front of us. So I had this I had this emotional kind of connection. And there's been many 3 in the morning scarfing down Taco Bell experiences in my life. So I'm gonna go with my emotional side here and say yes, that's gonna be in the publication.
What is the time limit on vandalism? Like, I believe he just admitted to crimes on there, and I just don't know what's the time on that.
If you vamp for like 10 seconds, I'll tell you.
Yeah. What is that called? It's the
statute of
limitations. Yeah. You may be going to jail. I'm sorry. All they have to do is figure out what your old band was called, and then find people who were like, I didn't even like them. Where'd the sticker come from?
Oh, come on, Google, you're letting me down.
All right, so it is news. Not news. It is news.
Definitely news.
Okay, so I'm down only one. So this brings us to, now that we're running out of time here, we're going to go into the lightning round.
Okay.
So we're going to give you the headline. If you have questions, feel free to ask. We may or may not know the answers.
Okay.
And then let us know if it makes it in or not.
Okay.
We're not going to do the whole pitch this time.
Gotcha.
So Adam, go.
All right, my latest string of articles means I probably owe this town an apology because man who is aroused by mannequins caught pleasuring himself outside Topshop.
Not news. Happens all the time.
He actually lives with mannequins. All right, fair enough. Not news. Man plans to die in fire until he determines that fire is hot.
Not news.
No. Okay.
Any stories about women? This has all been male centric.
Yeah. Well, there's our problem. All right, I'll get you one. All right, Adam.
The romance novelist was a woman.
Oh, that's true.
And this next one is pretty gender neutral. Pen dispensers on Long Island actually sold crack pipes.
That's news.
That's good to know. If I ever need a crack pipe, I can go up to Long Island. All right. I cannot win this week, but I can pull within one. Woman injured after mistaking dynamite for candle in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
News. Definitely news. I would read that story twice.
Yeah.
I actually did read that article, and this overwhelming question that everyone I've shared it with has is, why the fuck was there dynamite in her house?
Right. And what scent candle did she think that was?
And why was there more? Because in the article, the firefighters went and they found more unexploded dynamite.
She's like, that's vanilla. That's citrus. This one's burning in pain. All right. So it looks like, once again, as usual, Adam has won the day. Yes.
Did she die? I didn't.
No, she's not dead. She's going to miss some bits. And
Okay.
Yeah, there's some hand bits that aren't going to be as useful as they used to be.
We wish her a full recovery.
Yeah.
Or as best as it can be.
And hopefully they'll do some like rehabilitation where she can get some of her motion back and learn what the difference between dynamite and a candle is. It's important, I think, moving forward. Do you think she was there at like the last second being like, oh, no, and started
like a Wile E. Coyote skit.
Yeah. Like, you know nothing about dynamite. Why is this in your house? God damn it. Why would you put it near where candles might be? That's the other thing. Right? Like
I too like to live dangerously.
Right. There's like the drawer that you have, like if the lights go out, where you have like, you have a lighter and you have some candles and stuff like that. And then she was like, and I'll just put the dynamite in there just in case, because you never know when the lights are out if you need some dynamite to put the lights back on.
She had the when the lights go out drawer next to the when society collapses drawer.
Right.
And in the dark, she got them confused.
Right. I thought I was going to when the power goes out drawer, and I accidentally went into how to make the power go out drawer. They're very similar. So, all right. Well, you win. But you do need to name your brand new publication so people can go find it on the newsstands. What is it called?
I'm totally going to be boring and rip you off because you're so good. It's going to be Smoking on the News.
Smoking on the News. All right. That is fair. That is...
Which is apropos to the last story, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Thank God she doesn't smoke cigars. So no teeth left. So poor lady. She's had a rough time of it, and we're just giving it to her. All right, so that's good. How do you feel like you did? Your new position, editor-in-chief?
Well, I feel like a kind of a megalomaniac because I really like the idea that you are calling me the editor-in-chief.
Yeah.
I'm digging the power
you do.
over the news.
There you go. You may have to launch your own now.
Yeah.
Look for Smoking on the News on the website near you. All right. Excellent. I think you did an excellent job for your first time. I thought
Thanks.
You were very thoughtful about what you brought into the publication. Maybe not the best taste because you picked a lot of Adam's stuff and not mine, but that is what it is.
Well, he's got very similar taste to like all of our other guests.
Well, musicians.
Music is popular for a reason.
Yes. So, speaking of things you do have good taste in, music. Yeah. You happen to make music.
Yes.
You have a band called Smoking on Planes. You guys are playing Saturday, September 22nd at the Velvet Lounge in Washington, D.C. If people want to connect with you, they can go up to Instagram, Smoking on Planes DC. No G, just Smoking on Planes DC. But we have a track from you called Parallel Lives, which is going to be released on Friday, September 14th. But the first time it's ever being played on a podcast or a radio station or anything like that is right here on our show because it's
When are you going to pay me?
Dang it! You ruined everything! Oh, I can feel the spiders again. Oh, it's you! You did this to me, Adam! Okay. It is a world premiere.
It's a world premiere
Of Parallel Lives. So set this up for us.
Sure.
What is Parallel Lives? What inspired you to write this, and how do you describe it?
Sure. So this is our debut, first kind of big single for us. We have two other tracks that we had recorded in a studio and all that, and that's available, and you can find it through the Instagram stuff. But Parallel Lives it's really a song about that I wrote that's really just kind of like a reflection on life's choices that you make sometimes, and like how some choice you make long time ago kind of sets a trajectory in one direction, and so it's just about kind of reflecting on the what ifs in life, not in a sad, depressing way, but just kind of like in an interesting, almost scientific way, that if I had done this, that, and this, maybe things would have turned out this way, and that's kind of interesting. So
you're thinking like in a scientific way, like there being multiple dimensions as to like what all the decisions you've made are, and those don't ever really collide. Hence the idea of being parallel, right?
Precisely.
They branch off in different directions because of all the decisions you've made.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now,
I like the multiple dimension kind of. I'm a sci-fi total raging nerd, so I like the way you frame that.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's cool.
Do you think that this is kind of a good sample of what Smoking on Planes is about, like sound wise, or is this something that's more of a departure from what your typical is?
Like I said, I mean, this is really we're a relatively new band. This is our first single, and what our plans are is, we're going to put together an album next year.
Yeah.
So we're going to go in the studio and record that. And I'm writing furiously right now, songs, lots and lots of songs. And it's interesting because, I see the evolution of those songs.
Yeah.
And they're not this, they're like second cousins to this.
Right.
So I would say that this is a good representation of what we sound like now and how we've been sounding maybe for the last 6 months to a year or so.
Yeah.
But I'm really pumped. We're going to go in the studio next month and cut another single, which I think is going to be different than this. Which,
do you feel like there's kind of an evolution happening there where people can hear how that music is going from where you guys were with this track to where you're headed? Or
there's definitely an evolution, and it's a funny thing because I really like the song Parallel Lives and it's fun to play.
Yeah.
But and I think a lot of musicians feel this way, that by the time it actually comes out, you're sort of mentally onto the next thing, and you're like into a different vibe with the music that you're writing, and different things are influencing you. So I'm really pumped for this to come out, and I'm really glad that people are going to get to hear it, but I'm really excited about kind of the newer stuff that we're doing and that we're going to be releasing towards the end of this year and through next year.
Excellent. Well, let's take a listen to it. We have just a sample we're going to do right now. This is Smoking on Planes, and this is a track called Parallel Lives. You definitely hear at least the roots that you had back in punk, right? It still has that drive to it. And so you're going to have this tune along with a bunch of others on Saturday, September 22nd at the Velvet Lounge in Washington, D.C. If you want to listen to the entire track, fast forward right now to the 1 hour mark of this show. You can listen to it, jump back here, and you can connect back up with us. Again, if you want to connect with Smoking on Planes, go to Instagram, look up Smoking on Planes DC with no G. Like them, follow them, take pictures of yourself and your junk and send it to them.
Definitely.
And so without further ado, we are going to try a Parallel Lives kind of experiment here.
Okay.
There are 6 Parallel Lives that could happen. Each of those, you getting one answer right in our next segment. So we'll see which of those parallel lives you take on, and please God, just get one right.
In one of those parallel lives, Keith actually likes the stinger.
Yes, that is not one we're going to get to, though. So last week, our guest, Andy Kyler, Jams for Man. He does a weekly podcast about a history of Northern Virginia music and DC music. You can go check him out at jamsforman.podomatic.com. He had to answer questions about sciences. I don't think that went terribly well, if I remember right. Did it? Or no, he had to do the instruments. Foreign instruments. He had to do foreign instruments, and he got one right. He did get one right. I remember that.
The shofar.
Yeah. One so far, and then maybe he'll get more later.
Okay.
So that was given to him by Eli Lev. Right. And he's the one that had to do the different sciences.
Right. Super.
So Andy Kyler, he got one right, who was a little frustrated. And so then he chose a category for you, maybe to pass that pain on. I'm not sure. We'll see. I feel like you might have a shot here.
Okay.
Are you ready for your category?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Your category for 6 questions. Please, God, just get one right.
Please, God.
Is monkeys.
Oh my God.
Yes. Monkeys. Okay. That is your category.
Okay.
Here's the good news.
Band, right?
Here's the good news. Well, lots of different things.
Oh, damn, I should have done a question about the band.
Yeah. Good news is if you get one right or you don't get one right, you can take that frustration and that pain and that anger and bottle it up into another category that you'll pass on to our next guest.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. I will start this one.
Okay.
Sales of the Brass Monkey cocktail increased significantly after the 1980s release of the Beastie Boys song of the same name. The most common recipe for a brass monkey is 1 part dark rum, 1 part vodka, and what else?
She puts her left leg up, her right leg down. Oh,
I think that's a hokey pokey.
Oh, right. Okay. Can you tell me the other ingredients
Different
again?
drink, I think. Yeah, that is, it's 1 part dark rum.
Yep.
1 part vodka, and what else?
Okay. Rum, vodka, and orange liqueur.
Oh, you're so close.
So close.
Oh, man.
I want a brass monkey right now.
Yeah. No, it is
to
not
get through this contest.
Right? It is 1 part orange juice.
Orange juice.
Yes. You were so close.
Yes.
My first guess was something banana related.
Do I get half a point for the orange? I mean,
we don't have half points.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we round down.
Okay. You round down.
So, all right. Well, fair enough. That was very close though. Nicely, good guess.
I feel like I'll probably get no other questions right, but I feel like mildly
right.
Not
You
a
were
total
like,
loser,
yeah,
you know?
it was pretty much there.
Yeah.
All right, Adam.
All right. To quote Keith, I'm going to paint a picture for you here. During the Monkey Man space flights of the 1960s, one rocket veered off course, sending a chimp named Charlie off into the outer reaches of space. After many years, Charlie's craft was discovered by the most intelligent race in the universe, Charlie was given enhanced intelligence, weapons, and futuristic technology, along with a charge to protect the universe from the evil Lord Nebula, alongside a crew of other hand-picked apes of enhanced intelligence. What is the full name of this syndicated 1996 to 1997 cartoon?
Planet of the Apes?
Oh, that is a good guess.
Good guess.
Yeah.
But no, this was Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys.
And then I said all that stuff about how much I'm a sci-fi nerd, and then I totally crashed and burned on this one.
I mean, it only had like 26 episodes.
Yeah, don't feel too bad.
But I watched all 26 as a kid eating Fruit Loops.
But isn't it a spin-off of Planet of the Apes?
No, not that I know of, no.
No relation?
No, we'll say no.
Captain Simeon?
No,
Okay.
shut your face.
Okay.
Stop making us look bad. Stop it. God damn it, Nick. We're supposed to look like professionals.
I'm like the dumbest smart guy in the world. So I have the PhD, but I know nothing.
I'm like the dumbest dumb guy. So I'm like this part down here of the bell curve.
And I'm just an engineer.
Yeah. All right. Question. Monkey Island is a game series by LucasArts. The games follow the misadventures of the hapless Guybrush Threepwood as he struggles to become the most notorious pirate in the Caribbean, defeat the plans of the evil undead pirate LeChuck, and win the heart of Governess Elaine Marley. Can you give the full title of any of the 5 games in this series?
I don't understand any of the words that came out of your mouth.
One more time.
King Kong?
Yes. Monkey Island is a game series.
No, I understand. I have no idea. I never heard of Monkey Island.
Oh, you haven't heard of Monkey Island?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Any guesses as to the full name of any of the 5 games in that series?
Monkey Island, refer to me. So it's just tell me, Monkey Island is just the place, is just where it's supposed to happen, or that's the
Monkey
game?
Island. Yes, they're the pirate's name is Guy Brush Threepwood. He is trying to become a pirate, a notorious pirate, defeat the plans of the evil undead pirate LeChuck, and win the heart of Governess Elaine Marley.
I have no idea. The Rise of the Bonaboos, is that one of them?
The Rise of the Bonaboos. No. I like the name. That should be a game if it's not.
I think so. Descent of the Chimpanzees.
Ooh, no? I like it. No, The Secret of Monkey Island.
Oh.
Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge.
Fuck. I should have done this.
The Curse of Monkey Island. Escape from Monkey Island. And Tales of Monkey Island.
What about Return to Monkey Island?
No Return to Monkey Island. Yep.
That would be number 6, and then number 7, Monkey Island, Electric Boogaloo.
Right. Right. This time it's real.
So many good song titles to those names, man. That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be totally down to write some Monkey Island.
You'll need a Monkey Island
songs.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A concept album.
Yeah. You should do a Monkey Island concept album. You have been charged with a challenge, my friend. All right, Adam.
All right, well, you brought up the series before, so you might have a shot at this one. Set 700 years after the main events of the film, 1973's Battle for the Planet of the Apes ends with the lawgiver telling the film's tale to an integrated group of apes and humans in front of a statue of Caesar. What feature of the statue has led to debate about the film's final meaning?
The arm of the statue?
No. Caesar is shedding a single tear.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go do my homework.
Oh my goodness, this is bad.
Yeah,
we've given you a lot of sci-fi to go with.
I know,
That's 2 sci-fi
I'm
questions,
so
Sue.
embarrassed.
Yeah. All right. Second to last. Here we go. What simian-related term refers to a computer programmer that can be considered an insulting oversimplification of their skill set?
Dead air.
What
Monkeying around?
What simian-related term refers to a computer referring to a computer programmer that can be considered an insulting oversimplification of their skill set?
Banana eater?
I like it. No, code monkey.
Code monkey. Okay.
Yeah, somebody is a code monkey. They just bang out code, and anyone could do it. You put 1,000 monkeys in a room, and they could bang out the same code.
You guys should get smarter guests or easier questions.
No, that's the point. We're here to humble you.
The point of the game is difficult questions, and we have musicians as our guests. So that's 0 for 2 right there.
Right. There's a point to this, okay? And that is we are not good at making shows. We don't know our audience. Although we have, I don't know if you've seen this, Adam. I'll take a break from Please God, Just Get One Right. But we have people up on Facebook guessing these. We have 2 or 3 people who are pretty standard. Like, we're posting these up on our Facebook page, and we have a few listeners who are going up there and making guesses.
Well, it's great super nerd trivia.
Yeah, it really is.
And we're in the right place for it. So
yeah, but a couple of those people have oddly good winning streaks when they guess on Facebook.
Yeah, they do have Google next to them. So I like to think that they're not cheating, that they're not doing that. But you never know. You never know.
Yeah. All right, so this might be the easiest question for the last one, so you might have a chance here. Actually, tested it out on a couple of my students today to make sure it wasn't too easy.
Okay.
When I was growing up, everyone thought that Rafiki in The Lion King was a baboon. But it turns out he's not. In fact, part of his chant is a Swahili playground rhyme, part of which translates to, "You're a baboon and I'm not." What species of ape is Rafiki?
Is he a bonoboo?
You just want to use that word. Everything's a bonoboo.
Rafiki is a mandrill.
Mandrill.
Chimp was my second guess, so I wouldn't have gotten it.
No, but it's like the face coloration. That's how you can know.
Right.
Mandrills
Yeah,
have
the
that
only
really...
departure from a real mandrill is that his tail is a little too long.
I walked out on The Lion King. It didn't speak to me, so.
It didn't. It didn't. How old were you at the time?
I was like 36 or something.
This is dumb. Lions can't talk, kids. You should know that now. The real world's going to hit you in the face.
Your dad doesn't love you.
Right. Lions don't own shit. I have a gun. That land is mine. Even the stuff in the shadow.
Mufasa, right? That was the little...
Mufasa.
Wasn't that the protagonist?
No, that was Simba.
Oh,
Simba. Yeah.
Mufasa's the dad that gets murdered.
Right.
Sorry,
Murder,
spoiler
yes.
alerts.
Right.
Yep.
Do I still have to say spoiler alerts for a movie that came out when like I was in diapers?
Right. If somebody writes us and says, "Son of a bitch, I haven't seen it yet," I'll be like, first of all, never listen to our show. This is gonna get real bad.
Oh man.
We ruined
the only two movies with no statute of limitations on spoilers is Fight Club and The Usual Suspects.
Yeah, you think so? Okay.
If you spoil those for someone, you're a terrible person.
I think I totally buy that.
How about Sixth Sense?
It's way too far spread now, though.
You think so?
And then you'd have to watch The Sixth Sense.
That's also the case. Which I feel like is the only M. Night Shyamalan movie worth actually watching.
It got me. I was like, "Oh no way, really?"
It got me.
Totally got me.
So I have a quick story about this. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. We ended up showing up late to the movie. It was like at a dollar theater. And so we weren't like my girlfriend at the time and I, not real worried about getting there. And we got pulled up into something, phone call or something. We ended up going in and we got to the movie just like 5 minutes late. So we literally start the movie with him just following the kid home, right? And being like, yeah, he never talks anymore and stuff. And it's like, yeah, well, maybe I can help, right? We have none of the other backstory. It made the movie so awesome because I had no fucking idea that there was even like a fight or anything that had happened. Right. So I couldn't even like comprehend that maybe there's a chance. I don't want to spoil it. He's dead. Okay. He's dead, everybody. Yeah.
No, my favorite story about that real quick is on the Adam Savage podcast of Mythbusters fame.
Yeah.
He talks about how one of his friends who was a costumer, I think is the proper term, when she saw the movie for the first time with him, he was like so excited for her to get it, and like 10 minutes in or whatever, she turns and goes, "He's dead, isn't she?" Like, how'd you guess? Like, because he's wearing the same outfit the entire movie.
Yeah.
Date's over.
He never changes his clothes. Like, oh, of course a costumer would notice that little detail.
I like the fact that nobody talks to him directly.
Yeah.
That's the thing I like. If you watch the movie, they all like talk in a direction, but they don't like recognize him.
Oh, it all makes sense afterwards.
Yeah. And you're like, nicely done. All right. So no win today.
No win.
No, I'm very sorry.
That's fine. I got the orange and brass monkey.
You got the orange in orange.
I'm going to make one when I get home.
And you have at least 2 more sci-fi things you need to brush up on.
Absolutely.
It's basically just a dirty screwdriver is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So that has to be embarrassing. I can't imagine how you're feeling right now.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't sleep if I were either.
No one's going to come to our show on the 22nd.
No, I wouldn't sleep, but not because of that, because of the spiders. I can still feel on me. God damn it, Adam. Why did you do this? Oh, they're in my pants. So
no, that's that other thing you picked up over the weekend, Keith. We've been telling you got to get that taken care of.
Yeah, so there was all you can eat crabs, and I was confused. And so
for this part of the country, that's a good deal. So all you can eat crabs, sign me up.
Yeah, you can eat like hundreds of thousands of them because they're so little. So anyhow,
oh no.
What we need now is a category for you to torture our next guest with. Do you have something in mind that maybe it's something that you would have been very good at, but you know for a fact they won't be?
I kind of want to pass along an entire series of questions on the band The Monkees.
On the band The Monkees.
Yes.
Have we done that yet? I don't think we have, right?
Doesn't sound familiar.
No.
I think I might have done a question about the Monkees when we did there's some music related trivia.
Yeah, there was I remember us having a question about it. Okay, so the band The Monkees.
I can't believe you guys are debating whether you've actually done that before.
Yeah, well, it could happen.
Okay.
This is our part-time thing, so we don't have like documents and things like that. That would be
if you really think I'm going to go back and listen to 2 years worth of audio files.
It's actually just this year because we didn't do Please God Get One Right last year.
Valid point.
Yeah, so get on that. All right, so we're gonna transition. This will be great for listeners. They're gonna they're gonna have such a fun time. Last year we learned about monkeys. This week we're gonna learn about monkeys.
The monkeys.
So thanks for doing that. Just as our numbers plummet, we will blame you, Nick.
And I'll never be invited back.
Yes. All right. So, but if you do come back, hopefully you'll be able to get one right. You did not do that this time. So we'll move on to what we like to call near and far.
Far.
Yeah. See?
That's what it's all
That's
about.
what it's all about.
You understand?
You understand. So we're going to get two stories from you, one near and one far. And you'll hopefully let us into your life a little here. You'll become the trivia question. Is there one you want to get to, near or far? Is there one in particular?
Let's do the near. Let's do near.
Okay, so near. My understanding is there's a story. It has a name. That's how good this story is going to be. I can tell. It is called Nuts on the Hutch. So it almost rhymes, which is also another thing that makes a story very good. So I hesitate to ask you the details of this, but I assume that it has to do with all you can eat crabs. So please go on.
Well, let me just say, we are a musical people, so we always rhyme our stories.
Sure.
Nuts on the hutch, nuts on the hutch, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So in 2012, I moved to DC with my lovely, beautiful wife. We rented
Someone married you. Nice.
It's crazy. Right?
Yeah.
Long time ago, but yeah.
She obviously didn't know your inability to answer sci-fi questions.
Totally. She's probably going to be embarrassed to show her face once this podcast comes out, and definitely this story. So we moved to DC in 2012.
Okay.
We rent this great townhouse in Adams Morgan. It's got a fenced-in backyard. It's a great party house.
For those that don't know, Adams Morgan, great kind of art area in DC. Lots of music and a great kind of night scene there. So so you're living there in Adams Morgan.
Yeah, we still live there. We bought the house.
Oh, cool.
But anyway, a couple weeks after moving, my guy friends and my brothers, they hit me up and they say, hey, you know, it's like around August. Like, why don't we do a guys weekend in DC? And I said, that sounds great. And they said, get rid of Liz. You know, let's just make it a guys weekend.
So you pick up that book of like how
there's
to
a woman
murder.
in Portland just made a great article about how to get away with it.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
So anyway, the guys come down to DC, and like Liz is walking out the door, they're walking in, and she kind of gives the mom, you know, raised finger and says, I don't care what you do, but you don't mess up my hutch. So sure enough, all weekend, these guys put their testicles.
The prophecy has been told.
On my poor wife's hutch, and took multiple pictures that they sent to her all weekend. So that's the nuts on the hutch story.
Oh, man.
And we still find it hilarious.
Here, I thought it was a euphemism.
Who is the we in that sentence?
Yeah, right.
Definitely not the fine gentleman you're talking to right now. I would never do such a thing.
Not his wife.
My testicles are too small for the hutch, so.
Right. Well, it's you need like a break.
Interesting confession on air.
Is that what you're saying? So you're like, watch this nightstand. It's a little more my size. It's an ottoman. So goodness. So there's. Have you thought about starting a website? That's just
nuts on the hutch.com.
Yeah, just testicles on a hutch.
Well, it could be like another Instagram account, right?
Yeah. And then people just send you testicle hutch pictures.
You know, that's what I'm longing for. I want men around the world to just send me pictures of their testicles on hutches.
And then you just rate them. And you're like, nice testicles. The hutch looks like it needs refinishing.
Swipe left or right if you like these nuts.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nice hutch. I've never seen a pair of testicles with a receding hairline before.
Right. Right. This is supposed to be nuts on a hutch. What are those two tennis balls doing on that hutch? Oh my God, we've run out of time. We ended up just talking about nuts on a hutch the entire time. All right, well, we'll have to have you back to talk about your far story. It involves a bear, so that's pretty good. Thank you for coming on the show. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. Thank you so much. The hour went by so fast.
Excellent. Well, don't forget, if you want to find out more about Nick and his band, Smokin' on Planes, go to Instagram.com/SmokinOnPlanesDC. No G. Smokin' on Planes DC. Also, go to the show at Velvet Lounge in Washington, D.C. on Saturday, September 22nd. Go up and shake this man's hand. Let him know that you heard about it from Another Wasted Hour. Also, please do not run around naked in the hurricane making cookies on a Foreman's grill. Do not do that. Please like our post, follow us, retweet us, share the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We can't do this without you. Most of all, thanks to Smoking on Planes for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been another wasted hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.
Downtown next to my home. We're not going anywhere while they're apart. There was a time, there was one life, but it got away from us, split by the night. My name. Peril their lives. Make sure they don't ride up against each other.